Hey everyone, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Miranda, and for those of you who are familiar with me, welcome back to my channel. Today the Lord is speaking on a specific time frame where he is looking to usher out his blessings. I feel that there is a very strong anointing on this word, so take this back to the Father and ask him if it applies to you, and if it does apply to you, what is the time frame that it does apply to you. The title of this word is going to be, God said give him 30 days. 30 days from the date of today. Today is November 30th. So we're looking at about December 30th when we're going to see the Lord do what he's saying that he's going to do in accordance with the word that he gave me today. What this word is anchored in is Daniel is in the book of Daniel, chapter 6, Daniel in the lion's den. There was a 30-day decree issued for the people of Medes and Persia, where King Darius had issued the decree that no one is to worship any other god or any other human being for the next 30 days. And if they did, then they would be thrown into the lion's den. Obviously, Daniel did not adhere to that decree. He didn't dishonor the king by outrightly saying to the king, I'm not worshiping you. He just continued doing what he was doing, praying 3 times a day, honoring the Lord, praying over Jerusalem. He continued doing what he was doing before, which is seeking the Lord, petitioning the Lord. And with King Darius issuing this decree, this did not change Daniel's posture. He just continued to do what he was doing before, which is submitting and surrendering himself to the Lord. With that said, after he was thrown into the lion's den, and then the lions did not eat him. And what we have to understand is that King Darius, he favored Daniel. So he did not want Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. Had he known that this is why the haters came and told King Darius to issue this decree and put it in writing so that it could not be repealed, he likely would not have issued that decree in the first place. But when something goes in writing by a king, then it is not repealable. You can't go back on your word. So with King Darius understanding this, that is when he had to basically rely on the Lord to come through for Daniel and working a miracle. With that said, God worked his miracle as always, and Daniel was able to come out of the lion's den without a scratch on him. And then his enemies, the ones who plotted against him, they were then placed into the lion's den, and then all of a sudden the lions got hungry enough to eat them. So with that being said, afterwards, this is the important part. After King Darius saw how the God of Daniel came through for Daniel, King Darius issued a decree where now it wasn't for a set time frame like the original decree, the 30 days. Now it was an indefinite time. We're looking at verse 25 in Daniel chapter 6 until verse 28. Then King Darius wrote to all the nations and peoples of every language in all the earth, may you prosper greatly. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of lions. So Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and reign of Cyrus the Persian. If you have already been able to tell, as I had stated before, there was no time frame placed on this new decree versus the previous time frame, which was for the 30-day period. Why this is very important for us. The Lord dropped in my spirit that this 30-day time frame is going to serve as a literal time frame for many of his people who are going to be listening to this word. I'll just rattle off some of the things that the Lord imparted into me to then impart onto you. But this list is by no means exhaustive. You just want to make sure that when you listen to this list and when you go over, when you listen to any part of this word, you go back to the Lord and you ask him, is there anything else, Father? Is there anything else that I need to hear? Is there anything else that I need to learn about what you plan on doing for the next 30 days? All right, so just diving into the prophetic word. God said, give him 30 days. The first thing that I have written down here is that there's going to be a 30-day turnaround in a stubborn situation. A 30-day turnaround in a stubborn situation. I don't know what that stubborn situation is for you. I may even touch on it with the other things that I'm going to be touching on today with with the other things on this list. That could be a particular stubborn situation for you, but any specific stubborn situation that you have in your life, bring that to the forefront, surrender it unto the Lord, surrender yourself unto the Lord, and ask the Lord, how is he going to perform it? If he needs your input, if he needs your participation, and ask him for the strategy when he does decide to give you that impartation. If there's nothing that you're supposed to do other than be still and watch the Lord work, then that is still a strategy. So be mindful of that. There's a stubborn situation in your life. It could be a healing situation. It could be a rebellious child. It could be like issues in your marriage. It could be just even like your own internal mental, emotional state of being. Anything that seems stubborn, where no matter what you do, it doesn't seem to change. God is talking about that situation. In the next 30 days, you shall see a turnaround in that situation. Moving on to the next thing, financial, there's going to be financial blessing or financial seeds being planted within the next 30 days. Over the next 30 days, you're going to see the tree where the seed is being planted for the financial blessing. You're going to see that tree bearing much fruit after the close of the next 30 days. I wrote down here, I saw paid in full in letters in the spirit. I also felt in my spirit something about a cash blessing. I also had a dream about that, which I won't touch on today, but it's going to be a cash blessing where you've inherited something within the next 30 days. You'll get, for some of you, maybe a witty idea that you just all of a sudden have, where it has the ability to make you make money. In the book of Deuteronomy, the chapter is slipping my mind right now, but the Lord will give you the power to get wealth. That power is the Lord's impartation. That power is whatever the Lord has placed on the inside of you. Power could be authority. The Lord has given you authority over a certain idea that you are supposed to steward. That's why you're supposed to be stewarding whatever the Lord imparts into you, whether it's a dream or it's an actual idea, it's an instruction. These all could be related to the Lord giving you the power to get wealth. So be very, very mindful of whatever your dreams are. Be careful, because some of the dreams can just not even be coming directly from the throne room of heaven. So you have to be mindful of that. But be mindful of your dreams, be mindful of your visions, be mindful of what you feel drop in your spirit over the next 30 days, because after the close of the next 30 days, God is expecting you to steward that thing and execute it. Execute the instruction. The next thing I have on this list, salvations. There are going to be many salvations, either within the next 30 days or something that you're going to do within the next 30 days that is going to lead to salvations just happening back to back to back. Be mindful of whatever the Lord tells you to do. There are going to be times where he gives you a strategy where you are supposed to speak. In the book of Esther, not once did they mention anything about God. They didn't mention God's name once, but God was interwoven into the entire story. There are some times where the Lord will cause you to shut your mouth and just allow your conduct to speak. And that is what brings salvation. There are times where the Lord will cause you to shut your mouth and make sure that every single act that you display, it displays something that shows that you are a servant of the true living God. There are times where the Lord is going to just allow you to speak. You speak a word and you sow the seed, and then you just move on, and the Lord will allow somebody else to water that seed, or the Lord may allow you to water that seed. Whatever it is, the Lord is going to be giving you instructions, which I have at the end of this video, for you to see the salvations. Remember, you're doing this for the Lord's sake, not just for your sake. Yes, you love these people because you love the Lord the way how you do. So just be mindful of that, and don't try to take things up into your own strength or your own power. Do everything as unto the Lord. Every single act that you display, every single act that you engage in, make sure you are doing it as if you're doing it directly unto the Lord. The next thing I have written down here, marriages, courting, unions. There are some of you where the Lord has put in your spirit that within the year of 2025, you're going to be married. You're going to be married. And he's actually placed that in your spirit. It's not just something that you listen to online and you said, oh, I want that. I want that. It's something where the Lord has imparted it into you. There are some of you where you're already in a marriage where it seems like it's on the brink of just breaking down and like a divorce. the Lord is going to be causing, I hear in my spirit, a resurgence within the next 30 days. With those who are not yet married, you know that the Lord has told you, whenever you're listening to this word, if the word applies to you in a future season, 30-day time frame from that date that you're listening to the word, He's told you that there's supposed to be a marriage. And I'm even seeing right now in the spirit that the windows of heaven have opened up where marriage is concerned. Marriages are just going to be happening left and right. There are some of you, I even wrote it down in my notes here. That's how. I feel like that's confirmation. So I'm not even going to edit that out of the video. That was just a train passing by. I don't even usually park here, and I just hear the train. So anyway, that's confirmation for someone. I even wrote it down in my notes here. 30 days, it's going to look like nothing is happening. Or if it does look like it's happening at a very slow pace. And then you're going to wake up after the 30 days and then boom, it's time for you to get married. I wrote down boom, flip the page, one day confused, next day you're married. The next day you're married, not because you decided to get married on your own whim, but the one day you're confused, the next day you wake up and you just get a revelation that yes, this is like there's a burst of clarity. And then once the burst of clarity hits, then the Lord is saying there's no need to wait. Now it's time for you to step into the marriage. So that's that. Some of you, within the next 30 days, you're going to meet somebody who you're going to begin courting right away. For some of you, it seems like what I'm feeling in my spirit, where the courting specifically is concerned, is not going to be that much warfare. It's just going to be smooth sailing. You'll know that this is the one. They'll know that you're the one. And then immediately you start talking about your plans to get married, like actual planning to get married. Not, one day or someday. It's going to be, okay, we've got to do this because it's burdening my heart that we need to step into right standing with the Lord where this marriage is concerned. Unions. I'm seeing unions. It may be a reunion with someone. It feels like this has to do more with the extended family. So for some of you, you had to even depart from someone because the relatives of that person, like they just didn't like you at the time, or you guys always butt heads and all that stuff. Follow what the Lord says to do. Follow His instructions. Submit unto the Lord. And if they were your enemy before, even your enemies will be at peace with you. That's if you were like, and if you're doing everything in accordance with the Lord. If you are not doing everything in accordance with the Lord, if you are doing everything, if you're just going based on flesh, repent and ask the Lord to help you as you re-engage in your union with this person. If the main reason that you guys had to depart and disconnect is because of the family members of that person. So I'm seeing a reunion, particularly those who had the issue of the family not liking you, and that would be the main reason, some of you the sole reason that you guys had to part ways. You and your kingdom spouse had to part ways. Follow the Lord's instructions to a T, and you will notice that they come around and begin to bless you. As you do them, sometimes the Lord will even instruct you to be the bigger person and bless them as a means to like just initiate a new godly divine cycle. So that's that. I wrote down here keys. Keys could be strategy, the Lord's strategy, or literal keys. I particularly heard for cars and apartments. Cars and apartments. Where homes are concerned, it's mainly for those where there was a particular fight for you to get this home that you know that the Lord had ordained for you to live in. This is the neighborhood that the Lord wants you to move to. This is the neighborhood that the Lord needs you to be in, to pray over. Just like how Daniel had to pray over Jerusalem. Like, this is the neighborhood that the Lord wants to put you in. And it's been specifically a demonic fight against you. You're going to notice a turnaround with you acquiring that home within the next 30 days. For those of you who are believing for a home, I believe that the Lord can work His miracle. I'm just saying that, like, you have to take that part to the Lord and ask Him how it's going to apply to you where the homes are concerned, if that's what you're believing for. Jobs. Within the next 30 days, I see promotion. I see a 30-day promotion. So you may have just started the job. They say, oh, people don't usually get promoted for 3 years, 4 years. Within the next 30 days, your gifts will make room for you. You will start hearing discussions of, okay, we need to put this person in another seat. We need to put this person in another position because they're blowing our minds, or they're blowing my mind, or they're wasting their talent in this particular area. Don't take that part of the word if it's not for you, because sometimes the Lord will have you basically dig your heels in, work at a steady pace to build up endurance and patience and just on the job learning, on the job training. But for like somebody on here, this is meant to be in this word because the Lord doesn't want you to miss the opportunity or miss the blessing, because either he's going to confirm it before you watch this word, or after you listen to this part of the word, then it's going to be your confirmation that you are going to get a 30-day promotion. Within the next 30 days, you will receive a promotion. There will at least be discussions about you moving to the next level at a rather quicker pace than it usually would be. In addition to that, it will, like, there are persons here who you're just going to notice that you wake up the one day and it's going to be either a pay increase because of your performance, or your boss or somebody reaching out to you from HR, literally just requesting that you submit an application for a different role in your job. And when you look at the level of the roles, it's going to be an increase from where you are now. I also see job acquisitions. For some of you, you may have a steady job. And for some of you, you may acquire a steady job where you finally have stable income. For some of you, you may acquire a steady job where it's stable income and then a side hustle, so to speak. And it will be multiple side hustles. You'll notice that you're able to think more clearly with how you, like, even going back to the initial part of this word where the finances are concerned, you'll be able to think more clearly where finances are concerned and how you even administer your finances. What the Lord is trying to get through to his people right now, he wants to bless us so that we can be a blessing to others. In the book of Acts, what we notice is that the church, they were there to help each other. Nobody was without, nobody was lacking, nobody was starving. Everybody was like getting their hands dirty and greasy to like really work on advancing the kingdom agenda and making sure everybody under the kingdom headquarters, they were okay. They were set. Living was not a problem for them. The Lord is trying to get some of us into that place where living is not, like, just living is not a problem for us. Life itself is not a problem for us. We can actually focus on the things that will help us to be able to advance the kingdom agenda and be a blessing to others. So now for the second part of this word, the actual instruction that the Lord wants to give you. Worship like never before. In the book of Daniel, chapter 6, you see that Daniel, he was worshiping and still praying to God 3 times a day. Worship like never before. I say worship like never before because Daniel, he continued doing what he was already doing. For some of us, we probably fell off the wagon. We didn't really worship as we used to. Now the Lord is calling us to worship like never before. Worship like never before. Submit to him like never before. If you're already doing that and you feel like you're already... I would still worship more than you used to. Worship more than you believe that you do. Not so that you can obtain the blessing, but just to please the Lord, please the Father. One of the biggest ways that we notice a financial increase after we've sown is whenever we do it with a cheerful heart, whenever we give with a cheerful heart, whenever we're not looking for anything in return. That's when the Lord wants to bless you, and you're like, God, don't give me that just because, like, you don't want to feel like you're being paid for doing something out of the goodness of your heart. That's what the Lord wants to see of us in the season where worship is concerned. The next instruction: pray like never before. That goes hand in hand with worship, but they are still separate. Worshiping is when you're just praising God for who he is. Praying to God is when you're petitioning to God because of who he is. You know that he is sovereign, he is king, he's in control of the things that you surrender to him. Because you know you're acknowledging his sovereignty, you're going to petition him because you know that he can control whatever you petition him for. I have specifically written down here the next instruction: ask the Lord for your heart to be molded in the shape of surrender, into the shape of surrender, into the shape of surrender. Physically speaking, I don't even know what that looks like. But I know that when we surrender to the Lord and we ask him to, like, shape our heart in the shape of surrender, that's basically you letting the Lord know, Lord, you have my permission to take over. What is that? That's a posture of surrender. Lord, I'm authorizing you to take over. Because remember, we have our free will. So when we submit our free will to his perfect will, we are then giving him back the key in the form of surrender. Next thing, last night as I was falling asleep, and I was asking the Lord, how would he like me to deliver this word? I heard in my spirit, or I could see in my spirit, like a new heart. So I was like, okay, we're going to want to ask for a changed heart. But then the scene, like this, the Lord switched the scene to a surgeon with blue gloves on, holding an actual heart. The Lord is talking about a heart transplant. He doesn't want you to want to just change the heart, which basically uses your same heart and tries to mold it differently. The Lord actually wants to take out that old heart completely, and let's get a new heart, a completely new heart, completely new heart. The Lord wants to do a heart transplant on each and every single one of us who this word applies to. And that's what I got in my spirit. So that's it from me for now. I'll be back on here with another word as soon as the Holy Spirit leaves. Bye.